Guys, I'm Jan, call me Jan, Coach Jan. Tai Chi is one of my favorite things. I'm actually going to start this 1 hour experience right now. It's my favorite thing to share. It affects every aspect of my life. Both my parents trained in Tai Chi and Kung Fu when I was growing up. So I very much grew up around their masters in Chinatown, New York City. So it's a huge, huge part of my foundational just experience of interacting with physical reality. And you know, I fought on Li Tai Lang's New York International Sanshou team and got to fight the pro Beijing team when I was in college, a freshman in college, which was terrifying. But that gave me a lot of wonderful foundation to when my father and I got recruited onto the US Tai Chi push hands team by Josh Waitskin, that it was the fight mentality that really helped us in push hands. And so we were already training. We were the first outsiders led into Grandmaster William C.C. Chen's school, onto the team itself, without doing the Yang style Tai Chi that he teaches. I later on learned his Yang style, and that amped up my game immensely. But the way we do Tai Chi push hands, which is the national sport in Taiwan, the Tai Chi World Cup is out there. It's pretty much like not known. The talent pool in the U.S. is fairly low. So you get a lot of like Tai Chi magicians, people saying, oh, here's Chi, and it moves you back and all this other stuff. I believe in Chi, but we're not going to talk about Chi today. We're going to talk about like really practical stuff that is repeatable, because if it's not repeatable, it's not competition worthy. So we're going to really focus on performance. I look at Tai Chi as a human performance tool. It affects my daily business. I have my co-founders of our film technology startup here, training with us too. We all train. So without further ado, I'd love to share this with you, and my intention is, hopefully you find something here that you can place into the foundation of your training. This is all about slowing yourself down to speed up your perception, and when you go into that slow motion shutter speed mode, as my coach Josh would call it, you pick up more information than your opponent. So the expanded awareness controls the playing field. So please, let's train, and we'll start out with some Qigong exercises. And Qigong is essentially a very general terminology for breathwork, visualization, and body mechanics all combined. So we're going to do what's called uplifting heaven, and we'll stand feet shoulder length apart and parallel, imaginary string with you from the top of your head. Feel the string fall, palms facing flat down. Mouth closed, tongue on the ceiling of the mouth. And when you inhale, focus on 3 finger lengths below the belly button, the lower dantian, it's called. I'm sure you guys know that. Inhaling into the belly and feel the breath gather. Feel, see, and experience with your eyes open the breath gathering in the belly. And when you exhale, see, feel, experience it pushing up, splitting at the shoulders, going down the arms to the palms and fingertips. Inhaling into the belly and exhaling, dropping that color down through the palms and fingertips. Among other things, we're giving the attention a vehicle with this exercise. And once you have more control over the attention, you can start to program intent into your attention. Inhaling deep, exhale, dropping color down to the hands and inhaling up. Mouth closed, tongue on the ceiling of the mouth. Exhale, wash the color out. Inhale, pulling it up. Interlace the fingers, exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Breathing formula 2, inhaling up. Even deeper. Sometimes you need 2 inhalations on one move, exhaling down. Inhaling up, and exhaling down. Do your best to keep the breath as silent as possible to minimize unnecessary tension. Inhaling up. Exhale, wash out, breathing formula 3. Inhaling, stage 1. Even deeper, stage 2. Even deeper, stage 3. And exhaling out. Breathing formula 4, inhaling up. Even deeper, even deeper, even deeper. One big breath. Exhalation is just as long as the inhalation, if not even longer, to help expand the lung capacity. Shift onto one leg and widen your stance to a half horse stance. Hollow fist rested right on the hip. tailbone drops down. So if you find any tension in the lower back, drop it down. It's not a tuck though, it's just softening the muscles of the lower back. Inhaling into the belly, pelvis rotates on the femur, exhaling. Chest becomes parallel to the ground. Inhale, breath pulls you to the side and up, eyes on the belly button. Exhaling down. Inhaling, breath pulls you to the side, up. Exhaling down. And reverse it. The breath should feel like a rope that you're climbing. Catalyzes the movement, and you're releasing the rope as you exhale. So you really want to see that color visualization, gathering and releasing. This exercise is called Elephant Swings Its Head, and in traditional Chinese medicine, it's considered very helpful at redistributing heat in the chest cavity. So if you're stressed, it's great. Inhale, breath lifts the wrists, wrists lift the body. Exhale, wash the color out. Inhale, draw the hands in, the wrists in, exhaling down. Inhaling up. And we'll do the first Qigong exercise, which is like weightlifting for attention. Exhale, push the color out. Inhale, gather. Hollow fist. Pelvis rotating on the femur. And from the side, the back should be flat like a table, chest parallel to the ground, weight on the heels. Inhaling, drawing the color into the belly. And exhale, wash that color down the arms with the palms and fingertips. Inhale, draw the color into the belly. Exhale, wash that color down the legs into the ground. Inhale, draw the color into the belly. Exhale, wash it to the lungs. Inhale, draw the color into the belly. Exhale, spread the color out to the whole body, softening anywhere you might find unnecessary tension. Inhale, open the hands. And exhale, reaching through the legs straight back, crossing the arms, uncrossing them as they go all the way back. If you find your upper back to bend the way mine just did, you lift your collarbone to reestablish the back being quote unquote flat like a table. Inhaling into the belly, and exhale, wash the color down the legs. If you find yourself your legs burning, sink a little lower unless you feel like you're going to snap and come up. Inhale to the belly. Exhale to the lungs, wash the color of the lungs, strengthen the lungs. Inhale to the belly. Exhale, wash down the arms, the palms and fingertips. One more breath into the belly. Exhale, wash the color of the whole body, softening anywhere that needs to be softened, any unnecessary tension. And release the arms. Inhale, breath, lift the wrists, wrists lift the body. Exhale out. Inhale, draw in. Exhale, shift to one side. That's the same side's hand's gonna come to the small of the back. Foot and hand forward. Eye on the middle finger of the palm. And we're gonna be seated on this back leg. You should be able to lift it up. The ideal stance has these toes facing forward. So if you want it to be harder, you turn the toes forward. Both feet will be parallel in the same direction. If you want it a little easier, you put it 45 degrees. Of course, straight ahead will build way more strength. Inhale deep and exhale, show the mirror and slide forward. When you're in this forward position, you'll have what's called the A-frame, nose over the knee, knee over the big toe, straight line from the top of the head to the heel. We're going to inhale and scoop. Scoop with the hip and the hand. Inhale even deeper. Breath pulls you back by the belly. And turn, looking at the palm like a mirror. Exhale, show the mirror, sliding forward. Inhale, scooping. Even deeper. Exhale, showing. Inhale, deep. Even deeper. Exhale. So this exercise can be done as its own Qigong exercise. You're pushing the breath through, eye on the middle finger, special attention on the wrist for the breath. When you inhale, you should feel like a vacuum cleaner pulling the color in through the arm into the belly, to lower dantian. This exercise is great, but it's also the first of many push hands drills. And I call push hands mindful wrestling So I will show you guys, and please keep going. I'm going to come around. I'll come around and pair you guys up. This is will be a start to what we're doing today. And pressing, and roll back as you inhale. Sit, and press. Autumn or Andra, please come on up here and jump in. So the concept here is to melt away, to reduce any unnecessary tension. Andra, can you jump in? And again, slowing yourself down, speeding up perception. So when you press, you really want to feel like you're digging into the opponent. And so you want to be able to control where the opponent steps. So the ideal is that you don't actually step at all. Good stuff. Right back up here. You know what? Everyone just pair up. I don't get to come around because for me to come around with everybody's going to take a while. Pair up. I don't know. Andra.
I need to change my head.
So the point here is when you get to that end, you want to look at the shoulders, just like boxing. You want to have eyes on the chin, triangle area from chin to shoulders and downward. So you really want to make sure that your eyes are here and that you're manipulating the T on the chest, meaning the imaginary line through the shoulders, through the spine as you press. So keep going, and I'm pressing that T to get him to move. Pressing the T to get him to move just a little bit. But ideally, you're sinking low and relaxing the hips especially, so that if someone compromises you, press even more, that you can drop down and really control your center of gravity. Good stuff. Drop the hip even more. And switch legs. And switch hands. So it's going to burn the shoulders. And so essentially this, and you can continue, but this is essentially the, if you're in the park in Chinatown, the gentleman's challenge will be one-handed come up behind the back. So you'll often see this, and so this is a really easy entry point into push hands, but the sophistication really starts to come when you start doing the two-handed stuff and then bringing the two-handed game into the one-handed game. So there's a lot of stuff. We won't do the two-handed soft stuff today in terms of the drill, but run this again and I'll keep coming around and just making sure we're good on time because we're going to go through the whole gamut. Okay, so the reasoning behind the hand behind the back here is super important. If you're doing push hands with somebody, especially in Taiwan, and you see their hand drop, it's essentially to make you think that there's nothing happening here. So either somebody is really unsophisticated and they're keeping their arm down, which means they have no idea in their arm, or they're super sophisticated and they're going to throw you on the floor like a fraction of a second later. So you want to keep the mind, know exactly where that other arm is at any given time. So if you ever find yourself doing this, just check yourself. In any game, in any like sparring game, just check yourself. So you always want to know what that is, but for this, it's great to keep the hand small at the back. So just continue all come around. And feel free to dig, really dig into your opponent slowly. Really drop the hand becomes the elbow starts to slice through the body. So you really want to make sure you're digging into your partner as you play, but slowly. You're helping each other get stronger. If you feel the dig in your body, that means you need to drop your hips more. Yeah. Another important mechanic is keeping the weight shifting on the heel rather than the toes. If your foot stays down, notice that you can't fully shift the weight here. So you're compromised if this is staying here for the purpose of this exercise. All these things have quotations around it. There's no rule that really stays ever. So, but for this exercise, I highly recommend making sure that when you roll back, that the toes come up, rather than keeping the foot down. My foot comes down, just look at how my hip shifts. And when you're playing push hands, you're really playing in fractions of a second and fractions of like centimeters. So you really want to get that extra lift up. So really, it'll help you with the strength and the center of gravity. Okay, so we're going to take this drill, and we're going to do something that I love to show, and this is called rooting. And if you've ever seen a Tai Chi master with 100 people lined up, and they're all pushing on them, that's BS. So what that actually is, you're building a pressure circuit, and we're going to do the pressure circuit right now, but all those people behind that one person, they actually don't get the pressure up front. As a matter of fact, Grandmaster Chen was really, really helpful. If you ever tell me about how they devised these wonderful essentially dramatic arts for Westerners and on stage for shows to showcase the power of the Tai Chi practitioner versus every other martial art. So if you ever see somebody doing this, it's totally fake, and if they believe it, don't talk to them anymore. So we're gonna do this rooting drill, it's gonna be great. And anyone who wants to give me some pressure, push me. Okay. Okay. So I'll say this, with these drills, super important to remember that you're practicing them, works the intercostal muscles, it's amazing, but the way you use them live is just for a fraction of a second. So when it's not that you want to wall up completely on somebody, you want to be able to wall up for a fraction and then take the next step, whether it's an arm drag, a takedown, etc. So that's what this is for, but you still train them like you would train push-ups. So this exercise, so you can put both hands on the shoulders, and he's just gonna give me some pressure and relax, and then give me some more, and just start trying to rub me back to the wall as hard as you can. So all that's happening here is a pressure circuit, and there's 3 points where I'm breaking the pressure. Who else wants to try? You're being so respectful, so thank you so much.
I was trying to move you.
Tomorrow. Okay, go. can feel his back heel. And like all this is a pressure circuit. So my parents did learn this for like 30 years. You know, it's like a whole thing where it's like secret. We don't believe in secrets on our team. We teach it in 5 minutes, and then it's really up to you to like master. Who else wants to try? Who's really big and tall? Just letting everyone know, like I have no problem getting my ass kicked. I think it's really important as part of the process.
That's how we learn.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Yes.
Oh,
Please, go. As hard as you can, run me back. Okay, so we're all gonna do this now. Thank you. So actually, let me do it on him, and then we can all just, let's line up. Let's all line up. Everyone who's gonna push is gonna be on my side. Everyone who's gonna receive is gonna be on his side. Everyone with your left leg forward. So if you're pushing it on this side, and if we need to make 2 rows, that's fine, I'll come around. So everyone who is going to receive, matter of fact, take a step back just for a second so that everyone can practice this. When you inhale, it's like you're spreading wings. So you're gonna take pressure when someone pushes, and you're gonna inhale. The structure is the most important thing. You can do this like this. Grandmaster Chen can do it standing like this. I cannot do that yet. I've got to figure that one out. But anyway, there's 3 places where you're breaking the pressure. One is here, and if you grapple, you're probably familiar with crimping, which essentially means dropping weight onto joints just for a moment to get someone to feel pain. So you're crimping with your shoulder, the fingers, rolling them back. So that's the first place you're breaking pressure. That's the beginning of the circuit for him. For you, the beginning of the circuit is actually your structure. Second place you're breaking is on the elbows. So you're spreading the elbows out like wings. So you're not pulling them into you, but you're spreading them out, hence pulling here. You're going to inflate your triceps to achieve this. It's going to feel like your triceps are balloons, and they're going to pull out. The third place is your actual weight distribution. So everyone just check their stance. 70% of the weight forward. It's a very traditional stance here. Nose over knee, knee over the big toe. This back knee is going to fall. When that happens, you're going to keep the heel down. The hip is going to melt into your lead groin. Super important because you're creating a spiral effect here, a little spring, which is going to help you lift your opponent. So when they're pressing you, just go for it. When you're pressing you, you're spiraling in and claiming space. So much of this is about claiming your space. You're doing this on an inhale. When you exhale, you're going to sink into the space because obviously you're going to give up space in your lungs that are like millimeters. So you need to claim that space or you're going to lose it. So very similar to jiu-jitsu, essentially the anaconda work. This is a very similar mechanic. So everyone who's going to push on this side, everyone who's going to receive is here.
Coach,
Great.
quick question.
Yeah, sure.
When you're aligned, are you aligned 12 and 6, or are you actually slightly like what we do in Kempo, slightly off center?
No, we're not. As a matter of fact, I've been working on trying to integrate that because of JKD Betty brought that up, and I was like, man, that makes total sense.
It's interesting,
but
yeah.
it threw up my game totally. So again, this is like when we're here, when we train with our team, it's a laboratory. So we're bringing in ideas. We're bringing in UFC fighters, like Olympic boxers, judo Olympians. I learned stuff from Mike Swain. I'm so happy to be on his mats.
Right.
So this is super important to just be super open-minded. So I want to integrate that because it makes total sense. Haven't figured it out.
For us, it's like already integrated into our forward bow.
So maybe you guys can do
Maybe we
it.
can try it. But I noticed though you're definitely more of an alignment of squareness versus off center.
I'll say that the opposite. So the traditional Tai Chi stance, which is not what we're doing, is hips and shoulders square to the wall. So by nature of this, there's a bunch of Tai Chi people that just don't like this, and they say I'm wrong, and you can Google it online. There's a whole bunch of stuff like that. This is it's just unfortunate. But what I'm getting at is that to evolve the art, we just have to take notes. So essentially, you spiral in to be able to spiral out. Whether you're throwing a punch or whether you're throwing, we'll work the Taiwanese arm drag, which is like the jab in a second. So, but it'll start from this one mechanic. So this is super important. And especially if you fight tall, if you're a boxer, you can really drop into this and make your grappling game even better. So everybody who's taking pressure, let's go on just give a little bit. And as you're receiving the pressure, inhale. And one thing of the Tai Chi tenets is, if the opponent doesn't move, you don't move. If the opponent moves, you move first. So you're really listening. It's a listening drill. When it gives you a little bit, you respond only as much as you need. And then when you feel it, you soften and sink into your stance. And he presses you again, make sure it switches you. Beautiful. Great. And just soften, move it down here because your stance is falling. There we go. Beautiful. And now soften. Yeah, and so you're going to keep on picking up the pressure every time you push. Every time you push, you intensify the pressure. And a note for everybody who's pushing. The pushing is a science, so you want to push 45 degrees up to the corner of the room. You want to push them out of their root. So you want to be able to blast them out, and we'll do that in a little bit too. You're good. Okay. Great. And second, you feel me soften your arms. Soften your right hand. Even more in the front leg. Really, if you need to fight to claim your front leg, do it, but make sure you got 70% of that weight in that front leg. Is as you inhale, really drop. As you inhale, you're actually sinking a bit. It's a great question. Okay, he's got a great question, guys. He's asking, and please ask questions because that's how we'll really get somewhere. So he said, how are you sinking into the base as you're inhaling? So it's really interesting because you're actually sinking twice sometimes. So press on me. So I'm sinking as I inhale, and then as I exhale, I drop even lower. I sink as I inhale. You notice I just pumped for a second and then went back down. So I'm actually setting myself up for a push, pushing forward and up. So you might pump just a second, but always keep yourself going downward. And if you feel yourself standing up too much, just keep working it. It'll happen in the body eventually. But there's we'll keep working.
And sir, can I ask a
Sure.
quick question? Is there, when you were talking about this shoulder thing, go ahead, sir. The minute I roll my shoulders down, I start to feel more like these go like almost flat.
Yeah, right here.
Yes.
Circuit
So
one.
that that's correct. I should be
100%.
trying to pull that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So keep the big toe planted like a button. The big toe presses, the second you feel the pressure on your shoulder, you press that big toe into the ground like a button, and then the inhalation starts. So like one of the things of slowing yourself down to speed up perception is being able to, in specific order, have intent catalyzed. So 1, 2, 3 happens within a fraction of a second, but you have to be aware of it, but to be able to control it. So for this one moment, if you find that, and especially if you're playing in the ring, if you see someone start lifting their big toe, you want to blast them through the hip right there.
Interesting.
So yeah, just make sure that the opponent might not be paying attention to that.
So now I'm gonna try to keep my toe down.
Interesting. All right. I just wanted to know about that.
Oh, great. So let's switch. Everybody who's receiving now takes the push, and I'll keep going around.
That's really interesting.
Okay. Who needs? Let's see.
It's hard to regain it once the posture breaks. Then I could do it with my. So let me try one more time. So if I keep this structure.
That's a big difference. When you put your shoulders with that felt different on my hands. Yeah. I can feel that difference.
Okay.
Guys, another note. You want to be able, if you're receiving the pressure, you want to feel the heel of the person pushing. Like you actually want to be able to spin them on the heel. That's how you're going to get a throw. So if you're pressing, go for it. and just blast. So I can feel and turn on the heel. So you really want to feel that. And for the person pushing, I'll go to you. Hand on my elbows. Okay. Good stuff. Shoulders forward. Forward. Roll them at me. Yeah, there we go. Good. So now he's making me have to push off my back heel to extend through him, which means that if I think that means I need to soften even more my hip to push out of the front hip. Okay, roll the shoulders forward. Soften. Good. And you want to soften the shoulders almost like a bear forward. And then when you feel the pressure, push them forward. Good stuff. Good. So you feel the work happening in intercostal muscles, right? Because it's starting to, they're not used to that. It's a very, very particular exercise. Let's rotate. Everyone just switch. We'll do one more round because this is super important. If there's one thing that you practice from this today that you take away, this is like probably the most important.
Oh, yeah. That feels good. Yeah.
That's crazy. It's funny, that reflection on the wrist.
I'm trying to push that whole weight.
You're rolling. So if you, in general, this is probably one of the most Tai Chi ideas I'll share, is that we don't grab too much. Like we'll snatch, but we really don't do, and like, I train jujitsu too, I get it. But for this game, you'll really just touch a little bit more, kind of like bear paws, and rolling. So if you find yourself doing a grip on the elbows, and again, also elbows is just super important strategically because you can control the whole body weight from the elbow. So here, when he pulls, good stuff. And roll the bottom of the tricep and the elbow out. Good stuff. Good stuff. And then when I relax, he relaxes. When I relax, he relaxes, and then good stuff. Good. So, and you want to listen to the speed, the rhythm that the opponent is creating, but you control the rhythm because you're fully claiming the space. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Okay, so let's build on this. So we're going to do the arm drag. So the arm drag, if you guys are wrestlers, you're probably familiar with this. But in Taiwan, they use it like a jab, just like judo uses to sweep like a jab. So it's really different though in Taiwan. And we found that, our team swept gold in 2004, US team, and 2010, I became the coach. I took over for Josh in 2010. I got the silver, so I lost the gold by 1 point. It's the whole thing, gotta go back. But anyway, what I'm getting at is that the only way that we could really survive and thrive against the Taiwanese is essentially boxing. Being able to hook their underhooks and they'll set up underhooks with this arm drag. So we're gonna, if I can have someone to demonstrate, please. Especially he's got a wrestling background, so I'm sure he's very familiar with arm drags. So this is a different type of arm drag, I love it. So hand on the shoulder, and we're actually practice the mechanic with feet shoulder length apart and parallel, because we want to get a little bit more out of the fight mentality just for the mechanic, and then be able to integrate the fight mechanic, the fight mentality into the mechanic. So here, you're just touching the hand like you're waving. So you're just gonna wave your hand right by your shoulder. And you're gonna pass the hand to your hip with a flick, like you're throwing a baseball, like that. Notice that the body starts to move too when you do that little flick. So this is step one. And step two will be here, either to the tricep, or I have like some scar tissue on my wrist, so we started doing this, but this actually really works for different type of game of push hands. And then 3, don't mind. 3 will be, well, I'll show you 2 different 3s. 3 is here, just the drag to the side, or, one more please, or here, and you spin and you turn and you point where you want the guy to go. So these, of course, we're working the mechanic, and we'll do it in 3. So let's just work the flick first. And if we do the other shot, it's just boom, thank you. You're just flicking to your hip. On 2, we'll get into the detail of keeping this hand here to create a barrier while the other one's here. So if they're pulling that hand out, this happens in a fraction of a second, but if they came through this path, they would reach your other hand, which happens a lot sometimes. So, and 3, yeah, we'll go for this one. And taking the back, etc., happens from there too. But let's all work this, and then we'll bring all this stuff together with the arm drag and the rooting twist. So guys, really work number 1. Just the flick, work the flick. You want to make your opponent move from the flick.
It does do it.
Well, I think that's the point. Because you're supposed to push exactly.
Yeah.
Push it.
It definitely. There we go.
It's almost like a hewn sow. Guys, added detail. These 3 fingers are the main focus fingers. These 3 fingers, so you're shooting them around. And one thing I love sharing that my coach Josh shared with us, which is essentially a formula for mastery. He said, you take anything, you break it down into 3 parts, you train those parts, and you put it back together, you've mastered it. It's like, Josh is a funny guy, but I found that utilizing that is so layered with dissection. To take one thing and say, okay, this is the whole move. Well, hold on, no, it's not. And then you break it down to the 3, and then you find that one of the 3 actually has 3 components itself. So really diving deeper and deeper and deeper. So these 3 fingers spin and really aim to throw it put spin on a baseball. Really think about putting spin on your opponent. Try to connect their wrist to their body. Feel the weight of their body flowing out with their wrist. So just boom, throw it across.
You're about the same age.
Yeah, he's in classes too.
How old is he? Yeah, there's
Good stuff. Okay, guys, add the 1-2. 1-2. Sure.
Everybody up? Guys, come on up.
1-2. So that's 1, and then 1-2 is 1, 2, aiming right for the tricep. Get as deep as you can in the armpit. And again, you can cup the tricep or you can open the hand, but this, if you're gonna do this, let me know and we'll talk about that. But otherwise, flick and just get the grip. And don't go for the pull yet. So just shoot it. And again, to prepare, we'll do this, boom, like this. Almost like we're running uppercuts. You start whipping this. So you really want to be able to fire this off. One more time, please, thank you. Fire this off and go for that grip. So just fire, fire, fire. Go. Sorry. Speed it up over time, slowly.
I think I've felt one used.
And alternate, every 3, alternate, back and forth.
Under.
We're going to talk about this in a moment, but essentially, do you grip down, higher, lower? Just get the position for now, because there are different variations. There's a downward pull, there's an upward pull, there's a side pull where you connect the chest. There's all these different, this is a setup for a lot of different opportunities. So right now, just get the hand there, 1, 2. Just keep running.
You're doing awesome.
Make your head so you can see the whole body. You got it.
So I actually have two. And he hasn't really been
All right, guys, so now we're going to add the pull. And this pull, super important mechanic here is the dropping of your hips for this version of it. So you have 1, passing down, you have 2, angling up, and 3, dropping your hips. And it should feel, your hips should feel like an elevator that's been cut loose. So you're dropping down and you're connecting, your weight is connected here. So you're dropping down, the weight is connected here, but you don't want to think about, it should feel like you're swinging on them, but again, we're layering in tension. It's a 1, 2, 3. So you want to feel the drop first and then the swing. So your hips drop first and then you feel like you're swinging on them. So 1, 2. You really just put them down. Thank you so much. So go for that. Do your best to feel that drop in the hips right after you connect. Connect, drop the hips, and then pull. Connect, drop the hips, then pull. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that was a great one. Oh, yeah.
You doing good? Okay. It's been 20 years since I've been
the more you do it, the more space you'll feel. Okay. Yeah. Just like weightlifting. You know. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Okay, guys, so I just got asked a question about how do you score a point. So this is fun stuff because there's really two, in the States they play 3 games of push hands, which is fixed step, which means that you can't move your foot. You can maybe pick up a heel or a part of it, but you can't actually lift it. You'll lose a point if you do. And so that game is played internationally, and so is moving step, which is more like Greco-Roman wrestling or judo, where you score by pushing someone out of a ring or throwing them on the floor. There's another game called restricted step, which is essentially like fencing that they play in the States, but it's kind of laughed at overseas. Today, I love fixed step, and I actually think fixed step is a way more sophisticated game. It's explosive joint manipulation, so you start here, and they just started wearing in Chen Village, China, padding on their forearms, but before that, it was just like blast, like really explosive gun game. But what we'll do today, and I'm hoping everyone will participate, is just some freestyle movement, push out of the ring or throw on the floor with collarbone to hip playing area. So this is the official playing area of the Tai Chi World Cup. It's different in Chen Village, China. The Chen Village competition is head to toe. It's much more, they have a gi, and it's like, a little bit different. But the skill set that you develop by focusing on any area on the body, you get that much more sophisticated. So we're going to focus on collarbone to hip. It's going to be great. Again, you get points for pushing someone out of the ring. I already have my timer set up for it. It's going to be wonderful. So, and I'll start it off. Before we do that, though, let's actually warm up the back with some, just break falling real quick. So let's just sit. Well, actually, everyone's already seated, so let's just roll right here. And anyway, you guys warm up your back, but I'll just do a little circle going out to the side. And then reverse it. Yeah.
I'm a little hungry.
We're gonna eat in a few minutes. We're almost done. That's why we're doing this. Okay. All right, guys, stand up and let's just do a nice side break fall, just to warm up. So I'm sure you guys know this one, but essentially step to the side and come on up. Stand up, sit. Come on up. Tuck in the chin. Just warm on up.
But I'm not going up. Both arms are going down. There you go.
Alright guys, so let's please make a circle. Make a circle. Should be great. I'm just going to cycle this every minute. And we can. Who wants to go first with me? And I'll step out. Okay, cool, great. So this is on the timer. And again, 2 points for a throw. Only playing collarbone to hip, meaning that we're not going to do outer reefs or inner reefs. We're going to play mostly with the upper body. We can do cranks. Any type of throw from here is great. You can grab. Yeah, no hand and nothing below hips for this particular game. And yeah, no collar attack. Ding, ding.
So we can't move our feet, or
Oh, no, you can't. No, we're going. We're going to push.
Oh.
If we get to touch anybody on the outside of the circle, that's the point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go for it.
You guys probably stand up.
Yeah, so you can move. Who wants to go in under those rules? Okay, you two guys, I'll come back in. Thank you. You okay? Don't worry about it. It's okay. 18 seconds. Keep 1 second. 10 seconds. Keep on. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Okay. We'll go in a second. You guys take over reference with me. Sorry. Oh, that would have been illegal. I got behind his foot.
Alright, ready?
Yeah.
Ponytail, save me.
Oh yeah.
popped him in the face.
10 seconds.
All with a smile.
Who's in? 2 more rounds. Inhaling up, big breath, exhaling down, inhaling up, big breath, exhaling down, touch the feet, inhaling up, white light into the belly, turn to your sides, exhale. Wash the light visualization down, inhaling up, turn to the left side. Exhale, wash the light visualization down, inhaling up, wash it behind the back, and start slapping up the legs, up the body, up the inside of the arm, down the outside, switch, the inside, down the outside, down over the top, and behind the back, down. Inhaling up, exhale, all the blood returning to its source. 2 more. 1 more. Rub the hands together. Tap around the pectoral major muscle group. Feel the pressure points. Floating ribs up. Feel the pressure reverberate through the lungs. Other side. 4 fingers on the sternum for the immune system, up and down. U shape on the collarbone either side, making the sounds. Looking up, relax all the way through the reproductive organs and massage up, collarbone up. Back of the neck is the counterpoint, massaging like you're getting sand off the back of your neck, very strong. And then 4 right under the chin, hooking thumb with a hormone, squeezing. 1, 2, 3, switch, squeeze. 1, 2, 3. Earlobes for sleep, massaging front to back. Index and middle finger up the front, over the top, down the back, under the ear. Again, for the immune system, very strong pressure. Fingers of the scalp, front to back, back to front. Very strong raking, front to back, back to front. Massage, front to back, back to front. Slapping, front to back, back to front. Grab the scalp and knead it like dough. 1, 2, 3. Release scalp, the muscles underneath, even doing your best to stretch the bones that comprise the skull. Next group, 1, 2, 3. Next group, 1, 2, 3. Next, 1, 3. Reverse it, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 4 fingers at the top of the forehead, a massage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Reverse it. 3, 4. Temples, 1, 2. Reverse it. On the side, above the gums, feel the fingers fall into the grooves, the natural grooves. A massage, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Below the gums, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tongue. Reverse it. Inhale, reach over, stretch the oblique. Inhale, exhale. Other side. Inhale, reach over, stretch the oblique. Exhale one more time. Inhale, reach behind. My son taught me this one. Creep down, the bottom hand creeps around, reaching toward the foot. Exhale. Inhale, reaching over. Bottom hand creeps toward the toes, the bottom hand of the foot. Exhaling down. Inhale, white light, close the eyes. Into the belly. Exhale, spread to the whole body. Really visualize that light flooding every pore. Inhale, roll the white light from the toes to the top of the head. Exhale, roll it down from the head to the heel like a waterfall, down the back. Inhale, white light up the left side, foot to head, like a tidal wave rising. Exhale, roll it down the right side, head to foot, the waterfall. Inhale to the belly, white light. Exhale, spread it, push it to the top of the head like a fountain. Let it surround the body, make a big bubble of light around you. One more breath, white light in the belly. Exhale, wash it down the legs, into the ground. Let it come back up and around like a fountain in reverse, make you a bigger bubble of light around you. And just sit in this ball of light for a moment, silently, and have gratitude for the body, the people around you, the space you're in. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much, sensationally.
What a way to end the day, right? Fresh mind. Yeah?
This is my favorite thing to share. And so this is my first time doing a seminar like this in LA. I'm very, very grateful to you. Thank you so much.
I'm so grateful to you. Thank you. All of you, thank you so much again for giving us your day and joining us for this celebration. I love it. It made my whole month, my whole year. So on to 11, right, for next year. Tonight, go home. Please, spray yourself with Axe, or take a shower if you have time. Michael's on Riverside. Michael's on Riverside is right around the corner here. Michael, the owner, is a friend of mine. He's he's got us a little space there, about 6 o'clock or so. We're right on time, guys. I mean, for Kempo, this is amazing. I think we're like 15 minutes off. So we're on time. So basically, we got about an hour and a half or so. We got to clean up around here a little bit, lock up. And then, like I said, let's all just, if you can, please come and meet us. They have great food, great pizzas. and drinks and such, and just a little socializing for a couple hours, and then get on with your night. Or just stay there and drink, whatever. I want to, obviously, we thanked all of our guests, we thanked you, but my wife's not here because of our baby, but a lot of you are friends with her. On our 5th anniversary, I made a mini little speech, and she was not my wife yet, but she was my girlfriend at the time, and I forgot how to, at that point, and it's haunted me ever since, I forgot to actually thank her for the support and love that she's shown me in the dojo 5 years ago. I forgot that, so this year I'm not going to forget it. So now many of your friends with her, so make sure you let her know. I wanted to do it when they were here visiting earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt the class. Be thankful for your partners in life, the ones who support you. This is not an easy job for her to support. My schedule's very sporadic and such, so I just wanted to thank Cass as well. Thank your loved ones who give you the opportunity to come to the dojo, come home with bruises or anger sometimes, or happiness, whatever. But we do want to make sure we show thanks, okay? And I'm very grateful for my little daughter too, and hopefully one day she'll be here and see the film. Okay, so anyway, just wanted to put that out there. Cheers, everybody. You guys want to do a quick group shot? Coach, you haven't been in our area, so we'd like that.
Yeah,
so
great.
for our little album. So let's all get around Mr. Coach here.